Well, hello everybody. Let's take, today is March 8th, and let's take a tour of the garden today. There have been some big changes in the last 2 weeks. Let me show you what we've gotten done and what's upcoming. Let's see. Let's show you what the mass of what we've got done in the last few weeks. These guys. This has been a massive project. We started these wicking beds. It doesn't look like it's that hard of a project until you really get going on it and you realize that you have to be really careful, trying to make sure that everything's waterproof and that everything's set up properly. And in the end, we're like, worst case scenario, it becomes just a regular old container garden. But so far, it's holding water level's good, plants are in, but of course their roots aren't deep enough to take advantage of the wicking yet. But they are looking really good. Let me take you over and show you those. Let me start on this end. Got a couple parsley plants. It's parsley, more parsley, parsley, more parsley. I cut these back after I planted them in so that they would put up new growth and roots. I've got dill that I started from seed and is starting to take off. Because we've been having cooler nights, even if the day gets warm, if the night's not warm enough, isn't getting in the airplane. There we go. If the daytime and nighttime temperatures aren't high enough, the plants just don't grow like they should, and we're just now getting to that point where the daytime and nighttime temps are proper. So you can see my sweet oregano. We've got thyme, a beautiful tomato. This one's aroma. I've got a really cool system we're going to put in place for trellising these. And here we have another thyme. You'll see that when we get it in. Some squash. This is going to be a zucchini. Another squash. And you can see a Thai basil in the background there. It's my favorite type of basil because I love Taiwanese and Vietnamese food. Here's another tomato. This one is a early black. We'll see how this turns out. It's a new one for me. He's looking pretty stout, really nice. And then let's see, we've got some more basil. That one looks pretty sad, but it could recover yet. Same with this one right here. I like to plant basil by my tomatoes. They're a good companion. They help with bugs, and they just enjoy growing next to each other. Here's my garlic chives. I had a giant overgrown section of them last year. I've separated that out. This is what I've kept. I'm growing peas in the back corner there. I'm going to put a netting along the pole here so that they can grow up it. Here I have my normal chives, and I've got a tarragon back here in the corner. It's actually a Mexican tarragon. I'm hoping it has better flavor than the Russian tarragon I grew last year, which I wasn't impressed with. The tomato here is a Tycoon. That's a good heat setting tomato. One thing you have to make sure when you grow in Texas is that the plants enjoy growing in the heat. And this is a variety I've had good luck with in the past. Now, everywhere where you don't see plants right now, there are seeds I've put in. I have, this section right here, I put in some radish, some Chinese celery, some different things to intersperse to grow underneath the tomatoes. Oh, and I think a few carrots too. It's something I haven't tried growing with tomatoes yet, but according to some of the guides, it's a good companion plant. This is my Swiss chard. If you look down at the base, you can see that these are a multicolor rainbow chard. There are some more seeds in there too. Those were raised from seed, but interplanted some more back up. And these little guys, those are my way of combating birds. They do fabulous for me to keep the birds off my tomatoes and plants. The birds don't like them, so I'll grab, these are leftover from last year, I'll probably grab another 6 or so and just put them around the tomatoes to keep the birds off of them, off of the tomatoes. There's a sage, some Chinese kale. In this section here I have some holy basil seeded in, and here's a rhubarb just coming through. Here's some more over here. You can tell that these here versus this guy back here has older rootstock. You can tell by the size of the stems. Though you can't really see the stems from this angle. Here, this one you can. See how that one's like a good maybe ½ inch, where these are like 1/4 inch stems. You can tell that this is from an older root. I ordered these from a company I like to order plants from, and this one I found at Lowe's. It's probably only this season's growth. This is a lavender, and so this bed, as the coming weeks go by, we're going to be getting this fabric down, getting some river pebble in here so that this is a no-mow area. That was one of the requirements for my husband to do this for me, was to reduce his mowing area back here. So we're still going to have the area on the sides, both sides of the yard for the dogs, and then just stones here around my beds. Then there's this system. Let me back out so you can get a good look at it. See, we've got a solar panel. The box down there at the bottom is where all the pumps and electrical are. While I'm here, let me show you my lemongrass, which Jack is hiding right now. Jack, switch me places. There we go. Show you my lemongrass, which I started last year from stalks I bought at the Asian market. Just put them in some water. A couple inches of water, let them sit, they'll grow roots. And here's my bananas. They're looking pretty rough. I'm trying to get them fed and watered properly, and they should be taken off real soon. We've got a bunch of young plants, but I'm trying to get these olders to recover as well. Alright, back to the aquaponic system. This system, just last weekend we put in 30 plants. They were bare root plants, just bare nubs. I've got photos. I'll put one in here so you can see. But all these plants that have the pebbles with them, those are ones that were bare root as of last week. And look at them. Compare that to these in the rock wool, which were existing plants I had in a planter that I repotted. And another big thing is roots. Look here. It really doesn't have the root growth going. I think that's why I'm having to top water versus these guys. Look at the roots. They're beautiful roots. They'll get even better here as the plant grows. You can see the older plants have a few strawberries on them. I should probably clip those off and let the plants grow. Which I probably will when I get done with this video. And then I've had I'm new to hydroponics, so I'm working through issues, I'm watching videos, I'm trying to figure out how some of this is done. And these plants that I've had in these planters forever are just not putting down roots. I'm still having to top water after probably 6 weeks. I realize some of it is the weather and the cooler temperatures, but it's being like really annoying that these are not rooting down into the system. It doesn't really work unless the plants have roots. You see there's a couple things that are doing actually much better now that we've had a couple warm days, but some other things that have just died. And I'm trying to do what I can to figure this out, get it working. But overall, these newer plants look fabulous, and I'm happy that they are doing so well. This is my little outdoor kitchen garden. It's my outdoor kitchen. And my parsley, thyme, and dill. Why do I need so much thyme? Because I love it. It's great in stocks, broths, great with potatoes, meats. I use it in everything. Alright, over here is my existing container garden, which I plan to move over to that space once we get the stone and everything settled. Clear off my deck space up here. See, I've got this is my curry, and he has got some beautiful little starts coming up on him, and I almost feel like I should trim him down a little bit, but I don't know, he looks so rough after the winter, I just hate to do anything with him right now. These are my peppers I just pruned, took out their tops so that they would grow. They were getting really tall, and I don't want them to be that tall, so I cut them down. They'll really sprout out here. You can already tell that they're starting to get a lot of like side little starts coming, so those are gonna look beautiful real soon. And those are going into the planter that's going over here. That trash can is my husband's attempt at a rat trap. Haven't caught anything yet, but that'll get moved and gotten out of here as we redo these beds. But here's my Kaffir Lime, my pink Meyer lemon. She has a tomatillo in the base. My kumquat right there. He's just finally starting to come back to life. I've just fed everybody recently, and everybody's looking really good. It's my little finger lime. He's really growing. And my key lime. Let's see. I've got some garlic chives here I've got to give out probably this weekend. There's a neighborhood garage sale, so I'll put a bunch of plant starts that I don't want out front. I can't stand to kill them. It's like puppies. Here is a shishito. I did trim it a little bit, this one as well. Don't want them to get too tall, but the shishitos tend to not get overly tall, so I'm not going to over trim those. Here's another finger lime. Sorry, he's in the shade right now. Let me see if I can get it to adjust the lighting a little bit. There we go. That one's looking really beautiful. This is a chili pekin that I've trimmed back really seriously, but you can tell he's really already starting to grow, as well as my baby curry tree. I'll have to find him a home. There's my eggplant. I have a tomato that I'm trying to overwinter from last year. I buried him so he could expand his roots. Let's see if that works. And my mint. It's about time to trim already. Time to make some mint syrup. Mojito time. And we can also see I've transplanted those tomatoes that were in there. They're another heirloom tomato. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.